shifting to Eastern Europe, Sweden is reporting yet another leak following reported leaks in Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines. Earlier this week, Ukraine openly blames Russia for the attack, while Russia is blaming the U.S.
All this as Russian President Vladimir Putin advances his plans to annex 4 Russian-controlled regions of Ukraine. Here to break it all down for us, we're going to check in with Newsmax contributor and retired FBI agent Michael Grimm. Michael, we really appreciate how you make this also easy to understand. What's happening now?
Well, thank you, Katrina. Good afternoon. And there's a lot to unpack here because we do have a lot of things converging all at the same time. Number one, as you mentioned, we've had, these problems with the Nord Stream pipeline 1 and 2. And NATO has come out pretty unequivocally and said it is sabotage. They've offered no evidence. We don't have any other information. But with NATO saying they are pretty confident that it's sabotage, most likely it is. Who's responsible? That's yet to be determined. At the same time, we have a lot going on with this annexation of 4 different regions. And if we can get to the next part of this map, you can see Russia where all of this red in Crimea. This is all the Russian territories right now. But in the next map, what you'll see is the Luhansk area, which is a little bit further northeast, followed by Donetsk, followed right here, Luhansk, Donetsk, and then this Zaporizhia region, as well as Kherson down in the south. All 4 of these are supposed to be annexed. Now, we know it's a sham. This vote is not real. This is more of kabuki theater, and it's Russia, just having the, the press to be able to go back to the Russian people that are now turning against this war and saying, see, we are doing well, we are winning, and he's trying to shore up his troops, bring a little motivation to the people and to his own troops because he's having a problem. As you know, Vladimir Putin has basically instituted a draft, and males of the age 18 to 35 are fleeing Russia as best they can, but they're not allowed to leave. So they're trying to get out on the ground. That's become a big problem. But as far as the war itself, I would say that the Russians have turned against the war, and he's having a lot of time recruiting those to actively fight. And that's where we're at right now, which is why I believe he's going to annex all 4 of these to get some positive PR going.
Okay, we'll talk about that some more. Michael Grimm, thank you. Right now, like we said earlier, world leaders are speculating on what most likely caused the leaks of the pipelines of natural gas. While the U.S. is denying it, many are pointing to something President Biden said back in February. Listen to this.
There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
And joining us now to continue the conversation, former Undersecretary of Defense, Robert Wilkie. Robert, I know you just heard that soundbite along with us from what President Biden said back in February. It seems like it's a veritable whodunit right now in terms of sabotaging that pipeline. What's your take and what's your assessment of what might be going on?
Well, Katrina, what you just saw is just more confusion and incompetence from this administration. This is the administration that opened up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and for the president, a year after he did that, to say we're going to shut it down, just highlights just how incompetent and amateurish this national security team is. I'm looking over my shoulder at 2 seismic graphs that the Swedish Navy had of 2 sites in the Baltic where explosions went off. There are only 3 navies in the world, maybe 4, the Swedes being 1, but the British, the United States, and the Russians capable of doing this. This, to me, is a Putin escalation. I think he's misjudged it because he's counting on Eastern and Western Europe to behave as he thought they would have before the invasion of Ukraine. And now he's done more to cement Sweden and Finland into the Western alliance, and those are 2 pretty powerful militaries.
Are you suggesting, because I wasn't quite clear on this, who do you think committed this sabotage?
Oh, I think the Russians did.
And why would they do that? Because a lot of people say, why would they kill the moneymaker for them?
Well, what they're trying to do is get the Europeans to pull out of Ukraine. I mean, the biggest arms suppliers next to the United States, have been the Eastern Europeans and primarily the United Kingdom. I mean, the United Kingdom has almost been on the ground since this thing started. They're running a lot of Ukrainian military's communication nets. They're providing minute-by-minute intelligence on Russian troop movements. So they've been heavily involved. This is to intimidate. This is to tell the Europeans that you're going to be cold, not only in this winter, but the next winter. But we now know that the Norwegians, who have incredible natural energy reserves, are telling the Western Europeans, we're going to pick up this slack. We're going to open up pipelines into the Baltic and try to make up for the deficit from the destruction of the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, Robert, also, I want to get your thoughts on this one. Vladimir Putin also trying to annex 4 regions of the Ukraine under Russian control. Your thoughts on his strategy there? I have heard some experts say that this could potentially be Putin's exit strategy. What's your take?
Well, it could be. It could be. But what I would expect our diplomats in this White House to be doing, or a normal White House, we would be in Beijing and we would be in Delhi right now saying, is this what you all signed up for? These are the only 2 nations, for instance, who are actually trading in the ruble. If they were to stop or even pull back, you could bring the Russian economy to its knees overnight. We have to develop that diplomatic pressure that I don't see this administration doing to cement the encirclement of Putin. And really, we could be looking in the next months or year at the complete disintegration of the Russian Federation. And that's a whole new set of problems.
All right, Secretary Robert Wilkie, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.